It can be a nightmare.
Good to see you. Always good to see you, Dragonborn. I was hoping you could assist me with something. I'm in need of 6 tundra cotton.
Hold up. You want him to run outside? To pick flowers for you? How about I chop your hands off right now? So you have an actual reason to be a lazy bitch.
Leave me alone.
That's right. Run home, Carlotta. While you're out running, pick your own flowers.
What is good, everyone? I hope everyone is fantastic today. Today we are going to do a short tutorial on creating a scene from dialogue. I want to make a fun scene, something we probably all wanted to say to an NPC in Skyrim. What I like to do to prep for scenes and quests, and I recommend the same, is to create a notepad on what you want. This is one we're going to approach Carlotta. I was originally going to use Gellis in this, but I'm not. I'm going to use Janesa, I think that is her name. She is like a dark elf with a bad attitude. So this one will fit for her. So you can use whatever follower you want, but let's get to creating this scene. So to get started, I do want to explain that any dialogue or scene needs to go through a quest. I've created many tutorials on how to start a quest. So what you need to do is open your quest. Now we're going to start with quest aliases. Now I already have a lot because I've used this through Dirtyborn. One of them you're going to want is Janesa. So allow reuse in quests, an optional Janesa, and then Hireland Janesa is what you're going to want. I name it Janesa. Unique actor, Hireland Janesa. Allow reserve, optional, and allow reuse in quest. Now, sometimes with the alias window comes up, you can't see OK down below. You can drag the window up to see it if you'd like, or where you put the name, just click enter. It'll close it out. To create an alias for Carlotta. Then we're going to create a new reference alias. Again, reference alias window sometimes becomes big. Just drag it down. I'll drag it down so you can see it, but as you follow through, you can do this. Name it Carlotta. Allow reserved. Optional. Allow reuse in quest. Unique actor. And then find the NPC. Put her in here. And I hit the wrong one. Put her in here, highlight where you put the name, and hit enter. When you create a new alias, usually it will show at the bottom of the window. Hit OK. Close back out. At this point, save your work. So open our quest back up. Next thing we're going to do is create the scene. Click on the Scenes tab. Right click over here and hit New. We will call this one Flowers. Or just Flower. Click OK. And then in here we're going to put new actor. Add Carlotta. Another new actor, Janesa. Click again, add phase to the end. Add another phase to the end. And on here, we're going to go Janesa, we're going to add a new package. Right click in here and hit new. We'll call this the flower package. Go over to here to where it says package. We want this one as travel. Near editor location. Reference alias. Actually, what we want to do is not near. We want not. So what we want is not near editor location. We want reference alias. Then we want to find Carlotta. She's right here. We want to bring her within, let's say, 200 units. Click OK. So what this package does, let me pull this up and show you. This package will have whoever this package is on, which is Janessa. She will start to walk towards and come within 200 units of Carlotta. Then we're going to start adding dialogue. New action on Janessa. Put it as dialogue. We want her to face track Carlotta. So that'll have her turn and look at her. Right here, we're going to hit new. And this is where we're going to start putting our dialogue in. So I'm going to bring up my notepad. And the first thing she's going to say is hold up. And that's going to be the only one there. Click OK. And close this one up here. So now we have, this is the first part of it. Right here, she is not going to say nothing. We're going to have on the next one, we're going to choose here a dialogue. And this is going to be an empty dialogue package. A face track. Janessa. So when she says hold up, she turns and looks at her. She turns her head and looks at her. And that's all it's going to be. This is going to be empty at this point. We're going to go back to the package. I forgot to do one thing. Open the package up and go to the flags tab. On here, we want weapons drawn. Click OK. And OK. Next, we're going to add a new action. Dialogue on Janessa again. Same thing, face track. Carlotta. Click OK. Bring back up my notepad. And of course, if it's a female, we can change this. We can do this in two different ways. I'll show you how to do this dialogue. So we're going new. You want him to run out to pick flowers for you with a question mark. Now, if we add a condition that is get his sex male, and then we run it on the player, this will be said, we'll change this to random. This will be said if the player is a male character. From here, now we can copy this dialogue in this one. Change this to female. Now if the player is a female, she will say whatever this dialogue is. And we'll change that to her. So that allows in the scene, it'll work on a female player character or a male player character. Click OK. Add another phase to the end. Right click in Janessa again, more dialogue. Face track again. Carlotta. And of course we could copy these actions and paste them forward. I'm just walking you through every step at this point. New dialogue. This dialogue, we're going to change this to angry. We'll put to anger 60. Click OK. We'll bring back up what dialogue we wanted. How about I chop your hands off right now so you have an actual reason to be lazy, bitch. That's what she's going to say. New dialogue here. Paste it in. Here we're going to want to add a new phase to the end. Next, we're going to highlight this, right click, copy action. I'm going to go right here and we're going to paste the same action. So these were both empty. This makes so the head tracking stay the same on both. And over here in phase 4, new action from Carlotta is going to be a package. Click new. Call this the flower runs package. So we're going to change this on here. Preferred speed is going to be run. Go back to package. This one is going to be simple. I'm going to call it a sandbox. This is just the effect. This package will go away when the scene ends and it clears the alias. So in here, we're going to have the sandbox go to in a cell where it's going to be Carlotta's home. So what this will do is make her run away to home when she is threatened. Choose her home. Hit OK. Back into here, we're going to add, in Carlotta Stage 4, we're going to add more dialogue. This dialogue is going to be no head tracking, because we don't want her to look back as she's running. So we're going to hit new. Let me open up and copy and paste what I want. Since we're using Janesa, we'll just use that part. She's going to run Leave Me Alone. And we'll put this one on Fear. There we go. And we'll close this one here and close this out. So from here, we're going to open this package back up. The package box, right here it was phase 1. We want it to go to phase 3. Because we don't want Janesa to keep approaching her when she runs away. So here we're going to add another phase to the end. And this will be a new action for Janesa on stage 5. We're going to add some dialogue. She will say, "That's right, run home, Carlotta." No head tracking on this one either. Actually, we will have her head track because she'll watch her run away. So from here, we'll put this. We don't need to do any motion on this one. What's there? And now we're going to go back and head track to Carlotta so she watches her run away. One more phase to the end. We're going to go to stage 6. We'll scroll this over. We're going to add dialogue one more time. While you're out running, pick your own flowers. New. Put the dialogue in. Punctuation. Click OK. And OK again. Now we want to open the package back up. And this is going to go to phase 6. So what the phases do is the package will only work through page 4, 5, and 6. On this one, you don't want her to start walking towards while she runs away. She's already running, so you leave it at that. We'll put one more empty one here on stage 4. So add dialogue. Face rock, Carlotta. These just keep the scene so the person is looking at the person talking. That one's going to say empty. And from there, the scene's done. Hit OK. Now it's time to open the quest back up, and we're going to add the dialogue that launches the scene. Now, I do want to say something before this gets going. A lot of people will add an alias in a quest, and then later on have trouble getting the quest to run or it didn't run right. An alias will not fill if you're altering a quest that is already running in game. To fix that, you can go into the game, end the quest, and restart it. But if a quest is already running in game that you're adding an alias to, it will not fill, and it will fail. So make sure you're adding this to a quest that you can restart or a new quest. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to player dialogue in your quest. Right click here. We'll call this Scenes Flower. Okay here. Put an 01. That's the only one we're going to need. And we're going to need to add a couple conditions once we get this going. So we're going to start out by adding the dialogue I want. Player will walk up, say, "Good to see you, Carlotta." Add this up in here. And the other thing I'm going to add in here real quick is I'm going to put a T in parentheses. Now that is to show me when I scroll if there's a lot of dialogue. The T will be for the tutorial. Here we're going to add new. Carlotta says, "Always good to see you, Dragonborn." And once you paste this one, click OK. And then here we're going to need conditions. One is get his ID. It's going to be for Carlotta. Oops, hit the wrong one. Hit Carlotta. So this is one here that we're going to need. So that says it can only be said by Carlotta. But we're going to add another condition. This one is get in faction. And you'll understand this one once you get in faction. Then we want the player follower faction. Now right now, as it says, that would mean Carlotta needs to be in this. We're not going to do this. What we're going to change this to is alias. Press alias, and then find Janessa. So what this means is that it's going to still be spoken to Carlotta, but it'll only happen if you have Janessa in the follow faction. We're going to also do this a different way. And if you put, We didn't run on our alias. We changed it to, let's see, run on reference. You could run this on the reference if you wanted to. And select your reference. And all you'd have to find would be, you could change this to, in the cell, what is it, Whiterun. Whiterun, what, the Drunken Huntsman. Then he, instead of runs on player, you put in Hireland. Janesa. So all that would say is a couple different ways to do it. Is that Janesa is in the player follow faction. This is the one that I usually use. There's a couple different ways to set a condition. So now we're going to add some more dialogue. I have to correct that when I put it in, but that's okay. Move the D. I was hoping. Alright, I really butchered that dialogue. No sense in making it if I spell it all right, wrong. Spell it all wrong, right? I'm going to add one more. And what this dialogue is just leading into the scene. I'll be here. Paste this in here. And here we're going to semicolon. I'm just going to type scene. This is just to create actual script. We'll rename it. I'll just call it SSS Flowers. Or just flower. Doesn't matter. So it's easy to identify in the folder if you want to remove it. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to close it out for a moment because we're going to go back in and change the properties. I'm going to open everything back up. Still in player dialogue. Go back to the dialogue you created with the placeholder. Now, right click here and edit properties. Add a property. Look for scenes. There it is, this scene. We'll just call this scene flower. We've done this the whole way anyway. Click OK. Now click here and go into edit value. On the scene, SSS flower. Add it in here. Click OK. Now we called it flower in the property. So down here, go a line down. Just type flower. Start. Period. Start. And then close it out with the parentheses. Hit compile. Close this out here. Close this out here. One box I did forget to check. I'm going to open the quest back up. Go back into player dialogue. And this was the dialogue that started this scene. And click goodbye. And save. And that's how you add a scene to your quest.